Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she is a triple board certified OB-GYN. She's known as the girlfriend doctor. She's my friend. Dr. Anna Cabeca is in the studio. You'll hear her amazing story next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you've watched this show, you know I like to interview unicorns, people who are doing something amazing in their industry and they're unique in their industry. And that describes my next guest. Dr. Anna Cabeca is in the studio. She's a triple board certified OB-GYN. That's a unicorn. She's also known as the girlfriend doctor. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
It's great to be here with you.
All right, so people can appreciate that. A triple board certified OB-GYN. Mm-hmm. We talked about this before the show. You've only met one other on the planet.
So far, yeah.
Okay, what does that, what does that involve?
So definitely board certification is a rigorous process. So I trained at Emory University in Atlanta as an OB-GYN, and that's the first board certification. Then I realized my doctor's bag still needed a lot to be filled. And so as a lifelong learner, I did board certification in anti-aging and regenerative medicine, and then also board certified in integrative medicine. I feel like all women's health has to be, actually all health has to be taken from an integrative approach, that empowering the body to heal itself.
Yes. And even as a doctor, you were not always well. So we're going to pull up the About page from her website, and we're going to scroll down it, and we're going to stop at the before and after picture, because you look amazing, but you were not always healthy. So talk about that picture.
Yeah. So when I was 38 years old, I was overweight, depressed. I had suffered a significant trauma in our lives, and I was diagnosed with infertility and then early menopause. And that literally took me on a journey around the world looking for answers. So I took a sabbatical from my medical practice, where I was in practice in Southeast Georgia for many years, and just kept the earth moving under my feet, and serendipitously met some of the most amazing healers from indigenous cultures and some of the world's leading scientists. And that not only, and I would tell you with the grace of God, because from that journey, not only did my early menopause at 39 get reversed, but I naturally conceived the child I was told I would never be able to have when I was 41 years old. Wow. And that for me as an OB-GYN, with all my knowledge, all my work in reproductive infertility, having failed several rounds of fertility treatments, it just blew my mind apart. And I came back to my clinical practice so really on fire to motivate my patients, my clients, to take their health into their own hands, to really allow our body the intelligence that it needs to heal.
Well, and you have a famous saying that you use, menopause.
Menopause is mandatory and natural. Suffering is optional.
Yes. And we have Eastern medicine, Western medicine. So how would you describe your practice? Do you a little bit from both sides?
I do. I say when it comes to helping the body heal itself, I do not discriminate based on practices. There's energy, there's functional medicine, root cause medicine, restorative, regenerative medicine. There's herbals and homeopathics, and there's so much really in the energy medicine field too. But it's mind, body, spirit to heal what is, what we know is the cathedral of our spirit. So like any good cathedral, I like to say, a cathedral needs constant renovations and repairs. our body is no different. So we need to constantly support our body's natural detox, rebuilding, restoring processes.
Amen. We're going to scroll down your website, and as we scroll on the website, talk about like the kinds of people you serve. What's an ideal client for you?
Well, ideal client is anyone that wants to feel empowered and feel empowered in their health. They want to take their power back, and they realize they have that intuition that there's something else they can be doing. And they want to take the holistic approach because, you know, what we do, it's heal our body, especially if we're sick. I see clients that have been, you know, to doctors around the world. And by the time they get to me, sometimes they've really like lost faith in medical practice, but yet they still have that hope that there's that one next right step that they can take. And so for me, the ideal client is one that doesn't want to give their power away to big pharma or to, you know, to anyone, wants to incorporate the body's ability to heal.
For the dumb guy, and I'm a dumb guy, help us appreciate
Hardly.
help us appreciate how impactful menopause is for a woman.
Yeah, well, this is important too for all the men listening, but also for all the women. Like I say, you know, menopause is natural and mandatory, suffering is optional, because when we establish healing in the body, decrease inflammation, improve the adrenal function, and create insulin sensitivity, create hormone balance, then those symptoms disappear. What's important for women and men to know, especially during this time of midlife, when there's changes happening, that there's lifestyle, nutritional, and mindset approaches that really do empower. And then we work with supplementation, hormones, you know, all our great lotions, potions, and gels, and all that good stuff.
I love that. You create amazing videos. I found one that I really like. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Back in 2006, I was only 39 and I was diagnosed with early menopause. I was feeling stressed, depressed, fatigued. I weighed well over 200 pounds. I was losing my hair and my libido. Seriously, I lost count of all the symptoms. And you know what the worst was? I was told that I could not do anything about my premature menopause and I would not be able to ever get pregnant again. But as a medical researcher, I just couldn't accept that. And that's how, 8 months later, I ended up in the jungles of Peru looking for answers. And that's where I learned that the Incas have been using a root called maca for centuries to treat their ailments, including to improve their fertility, boost their energy, and enhance their sex drive. It's even called the Peruvian Viagra. So I started researching, and I found very strong scientific studies going back to the 60s that found maca to have benefits for our endocrine system and even for menopause. As I continued my journey, I started discovering the best natural healing ingredients from indigenous cultures in Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and South America. And that's how I learned about other amazing superfoods like acerola, resveratrol, turmeric, green tea, and many more. I found out that when I combined these indigenous herbs with maca, the effects were greater than the effects of each individual herb by itself. And that's how I accidentally formulated the world's most regenerative superfood cocktail, which I now call Mighty Maca Plus. Seriously, the results blew my mind. My menopause backed off, I was more in the flow, had more energy, I started shedding weight, and as an answer to my prayers, I became pregnant at age 41. I will share with you about my very favorite energy elixir. Take a scoop to 2 of Mighty Maca with some water, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a scoop of lemon juice, stir that up, chug that down, and boom, it's a boost of energy. You'll really love that one. It really works. It helps with digestion and alkalinizing too. We're happy to send you your first trial of Mighty Maca Plus for free. Just cover the cost of shipping and it's ready to send out right away. It's worked for me and tens of thousands of others. I am sure that it can change your life too.
All right, amazing. Tell me about the reactions that you've had from your customers.
So definitely the key thing, especially my clients, I started way back in 1999 working with clients with histories of breast cancer and using bioidentical hormones and supplements when it was possible. So when I created Mighty Maca, perfectly safe for my breast cancer patients, their hot flashes went away. They had more energy. And so it's one of these foundations because with the combination of the superfoods, the polyphenols, the antioxidants, the detoxifant support, it really decreases inflammation, improves that insulin sensitivity, and supports the adrenals. So when we address those issues, we really do really see a reversal in symptoms and disease.
Incredible. Okay, we're going to pull up that page off of your website, and as we scroll down the page, I want you to talk about what is it about this kind of almost miracle superfood?
Well, maca in general is a powerful superfood because it has specific proteins called macaines, and these are unique to maca. And within maca itself, it's high in arginine, which increases nitric oxide, which increases blood flow, which coincidentally is exactly how Viagra works. So hence the name Peruvian Viagra. But it's an adaptogenic blend. So if you're in overdrive, you're wired, or you're exhausted, and truthfully, who in midlife or beyond, who isn't?
Right.
So this becomes an incredible superfood combination that makes a big difference.
And you were saying it actually helps men as well.
It's incredible for men. So definitely energy. We have a lot. We have boxers. We have a Ukrainian pole vaulter, Olympian. We have cross-country cyclists. I mean, really, it helps. And it helps with energy in a clean way so you don't feel that stimulant. Wow. And it helps with focus too. It's just the combination that's powerful. And it's because of my own journey experiencing, the maca, experience the acerola cherry and the mangosteen and the greens, chlorella, spirulina, different places I traveled around the world in my healing journey that I created this combination of ingredients.
Beautiful. I mean, you're helping countless people every single day with your products. We're going to pull up your media page because you do a lot of media. I know when we worked together a few years ago, you were on a number of different stations, but talk about how you educate people through the media and why that's important.
It's important because I realize how much we don't know. We've been a victim of media misinformation. I think until recently, there was a black box warning on estrogen, right? Because of the Women's Health Initiative study in 2002. I have been prescribing hormones since, now it's over 30 years in bioidentical forms, understanding what our body does and what causes the problem. I think it's so important for when I see patients and, for example, they have been diagnosed with breast cancer. My first question is, well, what caused the breast cancer? And they don't know. But when we look at the underlying epigenetics of what's happening here, what were the environmental toxins? What were the stressors? Why did this cancer form in the breast? And then you resolve those issues. The woman is empowered in her own body. For me, that is, we are losing women to misinformation, to hormone imbalance, to inflammation, to metabolic disease, and it's completely within our control. And I want women to know that. I want men to know that. I want, families understand that. And that's my reason.
And I have to imagine that if you're a woman who's experiencing some of these symptoms, you kind of get used to it. And so you forget what it used to be like when you felt healthy. So when you can restore a woman to full health, what does that feel like?
It's amazing. And oftentimes, especially high achievers that are powering through, they'll be like, gosh, I didn't realize how bad I was feeling until I started feeling good again. Wow. And I think that statement, I didn't realize how bad I was feeling till I started feeling good again. That's just life-changing.
So powerful. You also have a very popular podcast. We're going to put that on the screen. And as we scroll down the podcast page, tell us about the kinds of topics that you like to tackle.
I definitely talk a lot about hormones, sexual health, vaginal health, intimacy, and everything hormone related. So also the things that we don't talk about enough. It is that mindset and spiritual piece, that the female empowerment aspects and and really the alignment of our joyful passion and our focus, especially as we're aging. Because I think one of the most important things I tell my clients is you've got to know your love your life goal. What brings you joy? What drives your passion? Because, I mean, that's key to understanding where your potential lies.
All right, how did you get the nickname the girlfriend doctor?
So actually, Sherry Salata, who was Oprah's executive producer, coined that. She's like, Dr. Anna, we can ask you anything, we can tell you anything. And for you, there's no such thing as TMI. And I was like, well, I don't know. Sometimes with you, there may be, but that's how I got the name.
What a great moniker.
Yeah.
We have a minute left, so look into the camera on the left and talk to the woman who's struggling, feeling tired, feeling like she needs to go back to her old self.
Yeah, for women out there, if you are feeling exhausted, tired, you're feeling like your body's betraying you, or you're really kind of a foreigner in it, I want you to know that there's one next right step. There's so much you can do to feel empowered. I can share with you story after story, but it's within you. And for the men that are listening, there's so much that you can do to help support your partner going through midlife changes, through nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, adding more fun into your life, more oxytocin. There's a lot of things that increase oxytocin. So those are things that can help both of you.
Wow, you're amazing, and I can see why you're so wildly successful. We're going to end with her website, which is drAnnaCabeca.com. The great Dr. Anna Cabeca. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.